Greetings, Ranger fans, and welcome to another edition of Database Rangers Power Reviews, where we take a look back on our classic episodes of Database Rangers Power Reviews as we count down the 100 weeks to our 100th and final episode. Welcome to everyone already in the chat. Hey there, Sean. Hi, Lex. Hey, Jenny. Good to see you. Hope that everyone is doing well and that everyone's had a good week. We've been a little busy here, dealing with some more germy germs, but mostly doing well. RJ's just been having a little case of the sniffles lately, but nothing too bad. As far as other things going on in the world of Power Rangers, we know that they're continuing to roll out new episodes out in the UK, so the spoilers are coming fast. And I'm still trying to decide how to deal with all these spoilers rolling out. Like, it really sunk in for me that, like, all of the events of the finale are going to be, like, public knowledge in less than a week. And I'm not quite sure how I feel about all that. It's definitely a bit of a problem on my end deciding how I want to, like, handle things. Hi there, Nightwing Josh. Happy Soga. And hi there, Dan, as well. Good to see you. Oh, sorry to hear you don't have a lunch period anymore. But yeah, I worked from home a few days this week due to RJ having the sniffles and therefore not being able to go to daycare. But we're otherwise doing well. Their disposition is still wonderful. But yeah, with the Dino Fury stuff coming out so quick, I'm trying to figure out how I want to deal with that, because what I like to do is I watch an episode, write my review of it, and then watch the next episode. And it takes me like a full day to write a review. And everything's coming out so fast, it's like I feel like I can't just sit down and write a review that isn't in some way impacted by what I know is coming next. And I don't have time to really, like, write a review, every day as these are coming out. So I'm just, unfortunately, I think, going to end up being spoiled, which is a little bit of a frustration for me. And trying to figure out how to deal with that. I wish that, things were coming out at something of a more regular pace week to week, so I had a little bit more time to process between episodes. But I know it's game over once everything drops on Netflix in mid-October. So yeah, the whole reviewing Power Rangers game is definitely being all tossed out of whack, and I still haven't figured out exactly how I want to manage that, other than to probably continue with the originally planned schedule of just releasing each review a day after its premiere on Nickelodeon. Maybe I might try working on them a little bit sooner, but that's about it. So that definitely complicates things. MJ and I, unfortunately, don't tend to watch new episodes at the same time anymore, just because since I started doing the deeper looks, I was trying to get that 24-hour turnaround, and that just wasn't possible with MJ working on the weekends. So, unfortunately, we're not doing the synchronized watching anymore like we used to, which is another thing that's unfortunate with trying to get out the regular scripted reviews now. So I may continue to rethink how I'm going to be doing things as we progress through into the second season of Dino Fury, and whether I want to keep doing episodic reviews past Dino Fury. I haven't really decided what the channel's going to look like after Power Reviews ends. And if this year is any indication, there's a good chance that Dino Fury will be dropping its finale on Netflix next year, right around the same time that I'm dropping my finale for Database Rangers Power Reviews. So after those two things are done, I'm not really sure what this channel is going to look like. going into the future, and I don't know what the future of Power Rangers in general is at this point. So a lot of stuff that's a little weird there. But yeah, I know that. So Jenny, I see your issue with your lunch period. Yeah, we have some of the same issues with scheduling at my school, where we just find time for the students to eat. When we can't find any other room for their classes, and then they just get study halls at other times. What am I going to do for Halloween? I don't know yet, Rudy. I have not figured that out. I barely know what I'm doing one week to the next, other than, really my big focus is getting 95 done, because 95 is a big episode that I've been working towards for a long time. I've been working really hard this past week, this past 2 weeks, on the main effect of the episode. There's one major effect that's going to be a challenge, and it's going to be something that I've never really tried to do in this way before. So I'm hoping that it'll work. It's layering on CG, green screen, and other effects, and I'm hoping that it comes out well, and that it comes out in a reasonable time frame. But yeah, good evening, Chris. Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate the compliment. I try to be awesome. So, enough of me chatting about what the future holds. We're here to look back on the past, and we're going to be kicking that off in just a moment. But first, let us not forget our 3 equally non-controversial phrases. So, number 1, say it with me, chat. Black lives matter. Number 2, say it with me, chat. Fascism is bad. And number 3, say it with me, chat. Superheroes are fun. All equally non-controversial to say. So, let's roll on through with our review of episode 45 of Database Rangers Power Reviews. Our review of Power Rangers Megaforce episode 14, Gosei Ultimate. And go.
Previously on Power Review, the good doctor has modified our camcorder with a ton of new bells and whistles. It's called a
and I actually did dig out my little Gosei Ultimate Megazord that I had up on top of my my bookcase. I forgot I had this for a moment. Definitely one of the weirder ones in terms of its being a spaceship thing, but not quite. The lolcat ended up being just one of my favorite little plot devices there. It hasn't come back in too much of a major way too often. Obviously, it's important to this string of 3 episodes. We have a little callback to it early in year 2, and then obviously there's Dr. K's use of it during the year 2 summer saga. Database is very stressed.
There was something there.
What are you talking about?
Just get this thing off of me.
All right. Just stay still a moment.
Database is so freaked out.
Please don't make me do that again.
All right. That's enough for now, okay?
This is
okay.
Just one of those cases where we see just how traumatized Database Ranger is. Also, these shots
What's wrong?
do seem to and we're getting the ad in the middle. Hate the ads. Can't really do much about them, but I'm not going to turn them off because they're, ads for my own YouTube channel, so I feel like that's not a thing. Also, it's a 15-second thing, so what am I going to do? But yeah, my white balance was not great on the old camera, unfortunately. Okay, no, I'm not doing a video game on Database. Come on, let's get back to the thing. There we go. But yeah, this was the first time that we see Database get the flash of an entire episode into his brain.
Lucifer and Biggs are in their subterranean lair, infusing the
So sorry about that a little bit there. Is there something going on near MJ's eye? So this is something that I'm sure many of you have noticed over the years. We do often use makeup with a little bandage over, because MJ has a microdermal piercing right over here that's visible visible as mayo, but it often gets covered up.
You want to talk about bizarre? How about a blue pelted Bigfoot spinning around a slime spewing blob?
This episode was also just kind of vital again to the structure of Power Reviews, because this really marked the point where we had this new mechanism for inserting the reviews into the episode. This is the one that solidified the whole idea that Database had the technopathic connection to the Squee that allowed him to review episodes while engaging in other activities. Oh, so Rudy, with regards to the vaccine, yes, no, MJ and I have been vaccinated for months. I was one of the early cases because I'm a teacher, so I've been vaccinated since February. Everybody should, if provided that you don't have some sort of health exemption that would create an issue with your immune system. But unless you have some sort of immune disorder, you should definitely get vaccinated. And even if you do, you should consult your doctors if you're to see what you can do to keep yourself safe.
And when the mutants decide to unleash an Aurora power blast on the depowered teens, the robot warrior is quick to sacrifice himself for his human friends.
Wait, does that mean that it's been destroyed? Oh, never mind then.
So the mutants retreat to get more
Dr. K was really hoping that Robonite got destroyed there. But yeah, my white balance on the old camera was always a little bit off. So there's a little bit about like yellowish aspects here and there that I wish I was better with back then. But obviously the new camera is just a lot cleaner.
The two mutants show up again, and the Rangers do what they probably should have done before getting Robonite trashed, and activate Ultra Mode. The pair pull off another suspiciously edited Aurora blast.
The Aurora blast is very weird.
Out something that I really don't want to see.
Everything about the way the Aurora blast is set up just looks so weird.
Just long enough to blast the mutants away with an ultra good
on you, Scott. I'm glad that you were able to get yours right away with the help of your mom.
He's kind of. So
and I had the little there's a number of things in this episode where, from a production standpoint, I wish I had done a little bit cleaner. The white balance being one of them. It was a recurring issue during year one, but it just happens to be particularly noticeable for me right here. But also, I've been noticing that I keep running into the little thing where there's a frame from the next scene that you can see before it cuts. So it was there just now again. And that's a common issue I've noticed for a lot of reviewers. They'll use stock footage. They'll use footage of the material, the video that they're reviewing, and a lot of times there'll be a little cut of like a frame or two, and that has to do with just how it renders out. Like while we're editing it, we don't see that, but when you render it out, it kind of blends into where the video was about to go, and that creates that little extra frame or two. So anytime, if you're ever editing and you want to avoid getting those little flashes of the single frame, try to make sure that you're always like cutting off at least 3 frames away from where the actual cut is in the source material. So Lex, yes, as Jenny said, the red light is the Power Ruby. the idea is that it looks enough like Venjix, and Database has enough context regarding Alphabet Soup and Dr. K that his mind goes to Venjix first before it would go to the Power Ruby. He's very scared of who he might be, and hasn't really been able to internalize his past actually being a good thing. I just,
maybe you'd prefer it to be the one with the giant stone-faced transdimensional spaceship flying around the inside of your skull?
Yeah. This is definitely one of the episodes where Database is much more curt than he usually is.
Which means that it's time to transform into the brand new dual sword wielding Gosei Ultimate Megazord.
Yeah, the Gosei Ultimate Megazord, bit of a weird looking Megazord, not gonna lie. Just because of the whole head theme of Goseiger just being generally odd, because you have those little faces there forming Gosei's face.
Well, all brain-searing pain aside, this one is kind of a mess, and much of that is due to the pacing.
Yeah.
The whole thing just seems to be in such a hurry to move from one action set piece to the next that none of the characters are allowed any time to react and reflect.
Actually,
In fact,
Yeah, yeah, she does not want to actually talk about the episode. She wants to talk about something else.
what?
I mean, think about it. They were introduced in episode 8, were completely absent in episodes 9 and 11, and weren't even named aloud
They were
until episode 10.
everything about how
So it feels like the writers are trying to squeeze
Lufer
7
and Biggs
episodes of character development
were
into
handled
one
was so
season.
strange.
Nowhere is this more evident than in the use of their names.
Let's go sail.
Episodes 8 through 13 versus episode 14.
This is so weird. They say their names so many times in this episode. Like,
Clearly, they're trying to make up for lost
it's
time.
so weird. Everything about how this episode is structured is so strange.
Battle sequences, a new Megazord, and the final farewell to two ostensibly main villains. But the lack of breathing room causes everything to homogenize together. The only thing that feels like it's had the necessary time and development to work is how Robo Knight finally cements himself as part of the team. Because it's the one character arc that has actually been given attention across the majority of the last 7 episodes. Overall,
Robo Knight stole so much of the spotlight in the first season of Megaforce. And it was very frustrating.
Resulting in a hollow but somehow appropriate ending.
Yeah, they were saying their names, like, either one or the other more than once a minute.
And I hope that the third act shows some improvement, but what I have been trying to ask you is how are you feeling?
Oh, right. Well, since it stops for now, I've seen footage anymore at least.
Now, I will admit,
Now I can actually focus on how that footage got typed.
this does relate a little bit to how I personally handle stress.
How is that possible?
Like,
There seems to have been some unforeseen cross.
I enjoy talking about Power Rangers, about other shows or movies that I'm interested in, and when I get onto a thread like that, it helps me distance myself from other forms of anxiety I might be experiencing.
I'm not questioning. I'm saying it outright. There's something you are hiding from me, and considering that my brain was just nearly turned inside out, I think I deserve to know what that is.
Database has had enough.
Confirm something I've suspected for quite some time.
Hmm.
You're a technopath.
Oh, please, no changing the subject. I thought we were past all this psychological mumbo-jumbo.
It's not a psychiatric term. Being a technopath means that you can communicate with machines with your mind.
Oh. Wait, what?
The evidence has been standing.
This is one element that
Spontaneous generation of
I
reviews,
decided to
unreported
incorporate
I even found
into
evidence
Database
of
Rangers
remote download
power
of
set
security camera footage.
based around
I've been doing
the recurring element of the Phantom Ranger always being a character to introduce Zords. And I decided to have that be part of his character because it works so well for being able to structure the reviews, as well as just how the Phantom Ranger role worked back in the original series.
Just so long as I'm not some kind of robot or something.
Well,
What?
only in the original sense of the word.
Excuse me?
Relax, it's nothing so cliched as what you're thinking. When the Tropic coined the term robot
I mean,
in the 18th century, it had nothing to do
I don't know
with
how I feel about the fact that Orion didn't appear in Super Megaforce.
constructed human.
It's more because he did get very, very low levels of focus, despite having the best character development out of any of the cast there.
So, I'm a Cylon?
I don't know what happened.
Of course not. How?
I actually did Rossum's Universal Robots in college. I played the lead, Harry Doman.
What was that?
And here we go.
Rung the doorbell.
What?
I told you I was installing it with a taser, remember?
Did you?
And that was the third ringing of the doorbell.
What if this moment's not? Die!
The lodger? Well,
And this one's just like
Grab his feet.
twist after twist after
I'll clear
twist.
him inside before anyone goes. So I'm getting all my answers today.
database.
What?
I can't.
Sure you can. Just lift from the knees.
No, I can't.
And that last little twist of her hands disappearing when she reaches outside the apartment. Connecting to, obviously, her disappearance from way back in episode 27. Sorry. So yeah, just hit after hit after hit. Like, Gosei Ultimate is an episode that, has a lot technically happening in it, but everything kind of blends together so it doesn't feel like there's actually that much happening. But episode 45, despite coming off of, the extreme fun of episode 44, does have a lot happening in it as well. We have it's just, answers that come with more questions. We have the sudden reveal of the connection to the Squee, Database being a technopath, Database being a synth-organic biomechanoid, and trying to figure out what that all means. And then toss in on top of that the sudden arrival of Guy at the end with Kay's hands disappearing. It's just so much being loaded down upon them at the same time. So they're getting overwhelmed much in the same way that the story of in Megaforce it was overwhelming. So Lex, to explain the hands thing, it was that Dr. K was connected to that universe via the wireless interdimensional interface, which and in using the wireless interdimensional interface portal device to jump dimensions again, it stabilized her position in her ability to exist in other universes. Jenny, to answer your question on Cylon, that was a reference to the show Battlestar Galactica, specifically the newer Battlestar Galactica from the early 2000s. Where Cylons were largely indistinguishable from humans. But they were still machines. Technically, they were still constructed humans, and able to interface with machinery. They just were otherwise indistinguishable, and they didn't have any means by which to tell a human from a Cylon, and that added to a lot of the suspense of that series. So I was using that as sort of an inspiration for how I wanted Database's physiology to function. That was sort of my main point of inspiration on that front, because we had so many different cases of things throughout the series where he's functioning like a person. He's you know, he's had opportunities to eat and drink, although I don't think he did actually on screen, with the exception of possibly having some matzah for one of the AskDBs. I can't remember if I actually ate it, but but he had reacted to sedatives, just in slightly different ways than expected, and little things like that. But yes, the wireless interdimensional interface portal alignment device. I apologize if I misspoke when describing it, but that is, that is the thing that stabilized her. It's something that I didn't get deep into exposition on just because there was so much happening at the time. So it only just got that one quick little thing of, you're outside of the apartment. I really am. And I do wish I had called back to that and referenced it in a little bit more detail. But a key thing with regards to the wireless interdimensional interface and it tethering Dr. K to the apartment was hinted at in the episode where, not the episode where she disappeared, but the episode where she first returned, episode 32, when we see Mayo handling the wireless interdimensional interface, and in doing so, it got a biosignature read off of her that allowed it to to bring Dr. K back to that dimension. As far as, again, how Dr. K ended up in this dimension to begin with, that's still a running question of the series that has not been fully explained yet. With the Wii and the Wii U gamepad, the Wii is ours. The Wii pad is borrowed from Dave, who plays Guy. So that is his limited edition, like Zelda style Wii U pad. So I like to use that one because it has a very nice, sleek style to it. So we borrow it, and Dave is very kind enough to lend it to us on the occasions that we need it. Otherwise, if I'm not getting close detail on it, I'll just find something similar to use as a prop, which often ends up just being a Tupperware container. Because it's just like, okay, I just need like something that's black rectangle. It's going to be from a distance. No one's going to notice. We'll use this Tupperware container. What was that? The standalone wireless interdimensional tracking and control HomePad. That sounds fun. It would be great if we could introduce a Switch. Not that we have one, but yeah, it's a takeout container, not an actual Tupperware container. But usually, if you see it in close up, you can very clearly see that it is an actual Wii pad with Legend of Zelda designs on it. So yeah, I had almost forgotten that this episode actually ended the way that it does, because it's just a quick 1-2. But yeah, that gag had been set up for 20 episodes. Episode 25 was when Dr. K said, "The next time that I hear that doorbell, I'm installing it with a taser." And then episode 36 was when she heard the doorbell again, and you can see her get up off the couch and start muttering. And so nobody had rung the doorbell since then until episode 45. Which is funny because it had been a recurring bit throughout a good chunk of the spring season of year one. So we had all this other stuff happening, and it just kind of falls into the background. So I'm kind of stupidly proud of the very long setup on that little payoff. We've got a good handful of old Wii games. Like the classic Wii Sports and Wii Fit and what is it? Legend of Zelda. I'm forgetting which we have two. I think we have two Legend of Zelda games. We've got, I think, Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess, which I still want to finish one day. I would still love to actually finish Twilight Princess. Then there's like Super Mario Galaxy. I think we have Sonic Unleashed, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Smash 'em Up, Okami. I want to say is another one. I don't know. We almost never find time to play video games. Mario Kart and Smash Brothers. There are two others. But yeah, it's been a long time since we've really played any games on the Wii, and it's half dead at this point. It's just so old. It's a 15-year-old system at this stage. We've already had to swap out the disk drive once to get it functioning, and it's still a little iffy sometimes. So yeah, I do wish that this episode was a little bit cleaner in some of the production. I feel like some of my editing was a little choppy in some points. And I think that part of that is just because I was coming fresh off of episode 44, which just had so much going on, and I put so much effort into. And I was sort of at that point where I was just racing to see how quickly I could get these out. I was getting them out, once per week around this point, because I was avoiding doing I wasn't doing much by way of special effects, and I still had the flexibility of time to keep pumping them out that quickly. That being said, I was absolutely exhausted at this stage, because this is 45 episodes in. I'd been doing them almost straight weekly with very few breaks. At this point, it had been over a year. I was starting to like nod off at work. I was just so tired. Didn't impact my ability to do my work. I was just very tired. Fortunately, I was just doing data entry at the time, so it's not like I needed any brain power at work, and I was working locally. That was back when I was temping at State Farm, and I was Jake from State Farm. So I could just I would just go 10-minute drive, turn my brain off while working, write my scripts during my lunch, and then come home and go straight to editing and edit, till however late at night, wake up however early in the morning, keep editing until it was time to go to work again. I was just going nonstop at this stage. And I during year 2, I decided to try and take better care of myself. And that's one of the reasons that year 2 took longer. And now that been in year 3 for a long time, I have a career that actually requires a lot of thought and focus and effort and energy to get through my day-to-day. So I can't afford to be, staying up late at night, burning myself out. I have a long commute to work. It requires a lot of prep. I was doing grad school, obviously. Now I have a child to care for as well. So there's just so many different elements that don't allow for me to run myself ragged in the way I was back then, which, to be perfectly fair, was not a healthy thing to be doing physically. I felt good because I was getting these things out, but I was just burning my system out so hard. And I was in my late 20s. I could still do that back then. Like, if I really push right now, I can maybe do that sometimes, but I'm now well into my mid-30s. I'm now in my late mid-30s, as opposed to my early late 20s. So I just don't have that energy and ability to work through, to just power through that stuff anymore. It's weird realizing how much time has gone by and how long I've been doing this, and how much older I am now. What is that? 2 junior operating youth control over network attached to the side of the standalone wireless interdimensional tracking and control home pad. I like it. Junior operating. Yeah, that is fair. I mean, laser optic lineation cerebral array transceiver was a stretch, but I'm very pleased with the lolcat. Which I did give it a little shout out to in episode 92 when the landlord noticed that DB had experienced a bit more psionic shielding, and that was thanks to the lolcat experiments that we saw in episode 58 when Dr. K was experimenting with database. Hey there, Isaiah. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Sean, 40. It's coming. I've got a couple years left, but it's looming. It's looming large. And to think, I originally planned on finishing this series before turning 31, and I am now 36. So, best laid plans, but I do feel as though I at least did a good job of laying out the plans of this series in terms of planting all the seeds, hitting so many different plot points. Definitely could have worked on expositing some plot points a little bit more clearly at various times, but I definitely I definitely am pleased with how much I've been able to accomplish so far. I still can't believe that we have 94 episodes out. We're only 6 episodes away from finishing. 95 is on the way for next month, and it's coming together, and it's looking like it's going to be really cool if I can actually pull it off. I'm really hoping that I can. I'm over the course of this next week going to be experimenting more with that big effect of the episode. And if that effect is going off as planned, and if I'm able to get the last few pickup shots that I still need for that episode, then I should be comfortable with finalizing the announcement for the end of October. Isaiah, I can try to take a look when I get a chance, but I hope that your YouTube channel has brought you much joy. And Rudy, but yeah, you're also looking down the barrel of 40. Yeah, we original flavor Power Rangers fans, we're getting a little old, a little long in the tooth now. Yeah, I'm planning for the end of October, just because it is a big episode. And then I am planning for 96 in late December. So I'm trying to hold to that. With 97 probably in March, and then 98, 99, 100, June, August, and October for next year. So that's obviously going to be the big final episodes. Jenny, when is your birthday? I know you said it was in October, but I'm not sure which day. Oh, and Lex, you made a new video. I'll try and see if I can find time to take a look at your video and Isaiah's YouTube channel. I'm not going to make any promises because I am very tired and I do lose track of things, but I'll try and make an effort to check those out. So speaking of being tired, it's probably time to wrap things up. Until our next week, so let us not forget our other 3 equally non-controversial phrases. Number 1, say it with me, chat, love is love. Number 2, say it with me, chat, trans rights are human rights. And number 3, say it with me, chat, robots are cool. Even as we have now learned from the classical sense of being a synth-organic biomechanoid. And yes, anyone else who's checking out Isaiah's YouTube channel, try and like, comment, and subscribe. I don't know what I will probably be multitasking while checking things out, so I don't know if I'll be doing all 3 of those things, but I will keep that in mind. Exactly a week before Halloween, I probably won't be able to get it out quite that early. I should have the trailer out well before then, though. But it will probably be right near the end of the month, like maybe even on Halloween. I'm not sure. Plus, I need to time it with the deeper looks and everything. I need to double check my schedule. But hopefully that'll go well. So thank you all again for joining me this week. I hope that you all have a fantastic week, and that those of you who've been checking out the UK spoilers enjoy the finale of Dino Fury, which I'm going to try and get to. But until next time, Ranger fans, farewell, and let the power protect you.